On today's show, we are discussing how your role as a business owner is going to evolve over time.
My question for you is, what was your first hire when you started your business? Or if you're a new business owner, what will your first hire be? We're going to talk about roles inside an organization and give you a few tips along the way with running an organizational chart to knowing exactly what positions entrepreneurs run in their business.
Hey guys, today we are talking about the evolution of your role as a business owner.
As a business owner, stuff changes obviously frequently. You know, as a one-man operation, you've got the whole organization to control. And as things change, as you hire, as you kind of evolve, as you grow, as you bring on more staff, things like that, your role starts. So, or your role changes, I should say. So let's go through kind of maybe the 4 steps or the kind of the 4 growth patterns that work. We're starting with, you know, day one, you're wearing every hat.
Yeah, startup time, you are wearing every single hat, and half of them are things you didn't even anticipate. Like whatever your business might be, you know that you're going to be doing the job, the block and tackle, the transactional stuff of that business. If you're a lawyer, you're lawyering. If you're a lender, you're doing loans, etc. But what you don't realize is that, oh, you're now also like the administrative person, and you're an accountant, and you have to know enough about the legal aspects of your business. All these you might even become a web developer like Jason did when we started, like all kinds of stuff that you didn't anticipate, and that is how it goes at startup time.
And you know, for instance, if you need a form, you need to, to bill a client, hey, you're putting that form together. If you need this, you need to do this. You know, you come across things, you realize you're the person to do it. And that's a good thing though, because there's nothing wrong with learning everything inside your business. So when you hire somebody, you can train them properly and kind of teach them maybe the way that works. So one quick tip, we're hoping to give you a bunch of quick tips along the way in this video. Yep. And as always, guys, comment below if you have some tips or tricks that you've done inside your business that would benefit from the community here. So one quick tip that we did was we actually put together an organizational chart, and it was anything from like a CEO, a CFO, a manager, a sales guy, in our case, loan officers, accounting, stuff like that. And we put one as of today, like when we started the business, and then we put one down the road, like a projected one of hires and things like that. And you may say, well, I don't need an organizational chart, I'm doing everything. Well, exactly. Well, guess what? You're going to do an organizational chart.
Not the people necessarily.
You're going to do an organizational chart of everything inside your organization you need, and you're going to write your name next to every single one of them.
Right.
And that's just it. Your accounting, your bookkeeping, your marketing, your sales. So just a kind of a quick tip. And the reason why I like that is it really opens your eyes of, oh wow, I'm really doing all these things on a regular basis, or who do I go for help with these? And so that's actually really cool to set up, but it's also really cool as you grow and as you transition into hiring employees, creating software, virtual assistants and things like that, because it's pretty enjoyable, to be honest with you, to go back to that organizational chart and add someone else's name attached to a task and align them with that proper role, and they're the directly responsible person for it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much step number 2. As you are making your first hire, second, third, you're going to be assigning people to those departments on your organizational chart that you've already laid out. And get rid of the most painful ones first, and the ones that you are not as good at. For many, many business owners, that's a bookkeeper or accountant. So that can be one of your first hires, and administrative people and telephone stuff. So yeah, I would say that as that's happening, in step number 2, you're also narrowing your focus and concentrating on things that you are better at.
Yep.
Right? For us, that's some of the technical real estate stuff that goes on, and it's also marketing and sales and other things that we enjoy and we think we're pretty good at.
Yeah, obviously, just like any, and one of the big things with us is I was really, really, really kind of excited and motivated to get rid of some of those items. And you get rid of some of those items by a few different things.
100%.
You hire an internal employee, you put a virtual assistant in place, an outsourced person, a consultant maybe that runs that department. Like we have an IT department on our organizational chart. Well, we're not doing IT stuff here. Nobody inside our organization. We have a consultant for that, or just straight software that runs by itself, automated. So think about those things as you're doing them. And we color coded things, and I remember looking back, I think I was like the color green or something, and I remember like half of it was green and half of it whatever color you were. So I was, let's just say, green and blue, and then over time my green kind of disappeared and disappeared and disappeared, and all of a sudden it went from like creating a banner or a website to creating an internet ad to this to all of a sudden like the higher level visionary owner types of roles. So that's exciting.
For sure. All right, step number 3. It is our belief that a business owner is always going to be involved in growth, meaning sales and marketing. A lot of that department is why we started a business of our own in the first place, right? Because we want to sell stuff in our product and we want to support it and push it out to the world and stand behind it and everything else. So I don't think that should ever go away for the owner.
Yeah, and keep in mind, most small business owners are salespeople to begin with. That's like they're usually their number one trade, and they're starting a business because they feel they can do it better than their competition, or they want to do it their own way. So a lot of small business owners have the skill set of being a salesperson first. That's not everybody, that's not everybody, but a lot of the times it's a sales mentality of, hey, I'm selling for somebody else, why don't I just sell for myself and do it my way. So I think that's important to understand and grasp.
Yeah, to always keep that mindset and to always be evolving yourself in terms of your growth game.
And I will say, as a lot of this transcribes, you're starting with a lot of just transactional stuff at the beginning. Like you're doing every little transactional stuff of every role. Like you're involved in every role, the nuts and bolts of everything, the block and tackle of everything. But as this evolves, like we've been talking about, you're removing yourself from a lot of those day-to-day operation stuff and working on kind of the higher level stuff, either the high level sales stuff or the growth visionary, high level marketing, business building activities, which hopefully doesn't scare a lot of people, because in reality, if you have a successful business, that's really what you should be doing.
Agreed. All right, moving on to number 4, which is kind of in some ways the opposite of number 3. Like we were saying, business owners are very motivated and want to be involved in growth. Now, number 4 might not be every business owner's favorite thing in the world, and it's HR, managing the people close to you. And whether you like it or not, I think that's always going to be a part of it. See, that's something that business owners don't really say to themselves. It's like, I want to start a company because I want to hire and manage people. That's usually not the mindset, but that is absolutely part of it.
Yeah.
It absolutely is, right? And it's important, and I believe that too is forever going to be a part of your job description, forever a part of your role.
It depends on the size of your business, but a lot of our audience, a lot of us, a lot of our sphere are small business owners, and to be honest with you, just not enough room for middle management. If you had middle management that manage one tier to the next, you could put HRs in place.
But also, mind you, the middle management, you're still HR
Agreed.
for them.
Agreed. But depending on how many tiers you have, I mean, everyone pretty much in our organization, there's no kind of hierarchy chain. There's usually one person per department. Right? I mean, for instance, if you had, obviously 20 sales guys on your team and you had a sales manager, you're managing the sales manager, you're not managing those 20 sales guys, but it also depends on your size of your business. And, so that has a lot to do with it as well, is, if you have department heads and you're managing them, I mean, you're right, that still falls under HR, but, most small business owners, most real estate investment development companies, a lot of real estate agents, law firms, things like that, like they're not gigantic, or the small business ones, like they're not absolutely gigantic. So yes, you're involved in it, but the degree will just depend on how big your organization is.
Yep. So yeah, really over time, the evolution is a positive thing for sure. I mean, focusing on what you're good at, getting rid of some of the stuff that you're not, but yet you still are grounded in every aspect of your business and you know how it works. And I think that really makes people better overall business people, because it's challenging. Yeah. Right.
I mean, easy tip is, as you're growing, as you're making more money, as your business is building, try to carve down the lowest 20% and figure out a way to, delegate, hire, outsource, whatever the case is, as you need somebody. And, you'd be surprised. A lot of staff members have, really good at what they do and probably can do a lot more than you would even expect going into it. So, when you do hire that person, maybe your first hire is a bookkeeper or an accountant or someone like that, but maybe they can overlap into some other things or help out with other stuff. All of a sudden you go from like a one-man operation or two-man operation to a third person right here, and they can cover some additional weight. So over time as we've grown, we've had certain staff members have multiple hats, or
Sure.
play key things, because that's just what you do at a small business compared to a gigantic business, a gigantic company.
Yeah, for sure. Quick question for you guys. let me know what your first hire was and or what your next hire is going to be, because I'm curious. I want to hear from anyone.
Comment below on that, because that's always a common thing. And we feel like every time we've talked to somebody and they're about to hire their first person, what we like to recommend. But I'm just curious, everyone out there, what they use. Yeah. Hopefully you guys found this useful. As always, comment below with anything you have that you can share with the community. It's super, super, super helpful. Like, subscribe, share. Right back at you.